Welcome to the Painter Marketing Mastermind podcast, a show created to help painting company owners build a thriving painting business that does well over $1 million in annual revenue. I'm your host, Brandon Pierpont, founder of Painter Marketing Pros and creator of the popular PCA educational series, Learn, Do, Grow, Marketing for Painters. In each episode, I'll be sharing proven tips, strategies, and processes from leading experts in the industry on how they found success in their painting business. We will be interviewing owners of the most successful painting companies in North America and learning from their experiences. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that, man. How you guys doing? Yeah, sweet. I'm not going to make you say it again. I hate when people do that. Like, how you doing? I didn't hear you. Okay, now I heard you that time. Cool. Who is at your first PCA event? It's a lot of people, man. Congratulations. Round of applause for them. Welcome. Super pumped to have you guys here. Welcome. So PCA has a lot of resources. They have really great resources. Business training, this one's really cool. Who in here has taken a business training course? Fundamentals or Accelerators? Sweet, Andrew, a lot of you guys. So PCA does a really phenomenal job. They have business foundations. So if you're under $500,000, you can go ahead and check out that course. They're gonna set you up with the fundamentals of business and then accelerators really to get past the multi-million mark. All right, before we dive in, I also wanna thank, so I'm on the residential committee and it's led by Josh Justin. I don't know if Josh, you in the room? No? Cool, awesome, thanks, dude. So we got Cole, we got Fred, we got Shane. Who's in the room here? Cole's in the room. Shane's in the room. Fred's in the room. Okay, so only Josh, sweet. So, guys, can we give a round of applause to them? Because they kind of put this whole thing together with the PCA. All right, not too much. Okay, so smart marketing, driving ROI in any economy. Andrew, thanks for the introduction. I'm gonna go ahead and skip over this. Painter Marketing Mastermind podcast, I am gonna stop on that one. If you guys haven't checked that out, if you listen to podcasts, I listen to podcasts a lot. I drive a lot more than I want to. So I listen to them when I'm driving. Any platform that you stream your podcast, just search for Painter Marketing Mastermind. You can also go to paintermarketingpros.com. We have them there. We've shot about 170 or something episodes, maybe 180, with a lot of really successful smart painting companies. So there's good stuff there. Hopefully you guys check it out. I don't know why Andrew didn't say this, so I guess it wasn't in the bio, but this has nothing to do with anything. I'm gonna try to keep it brief. My wife talked to me before I got up here and she said that, don't just sit here. So this was at a commercial conference last year, PCA. Is Jesse Ramos in here? No? Cool, that's good. So Jesse, he comes to a lot of events. He's a problematic figure and he's a wild guy, if you guys know Jesse. And so we were at the Commercial Contractor Conference last year, and I was what you call dinking. It's a ridiculous word. So I was dinking with Chris Elliott and Maggie Kuiper. We were doing pickleball, and Jesse, comes up in his cowboy hat and says, "I'm gonna ride a bull." I haven't seen the guy in like a year. I'm like, "Cool, me too." Have no idea what he's saying. Figured mechanical bull, or he's gonna do something like that. Turns out it's a real bull at a real rodeo that can kill you. But the problem was I had said me too. I'm not gonna not do it, right? Doesn't really matter at that point. So we ended up going to this rodeo. What you guys don't see in that picture is this is a double-decker. I don't go to rodeos, so I had no idea what was happening. Maybe some of you guys do, I don't know. But there was basically a double-decker stands here. There were over 200 people in those stands. Every single one of them paid money, extra money. They went in the bar, they were drinking, and then they paid extra money, like $45, $50 per person extra money, to go sit in these stands to watch 8 people ride a bull, of which I was one. None of these people were professionals. And so I walked in, I said, okay, it's not like a super ritzy area, it's in Arizona, out in kind of middle of nowhere, this bar. And I said, if all these people are gonna go pay $50 to watch a bunch of amateurs ride a bull, it's because somebody's gonna die. Somebody's definitely gonna die because they're not watching for the skills. And so then what assuaged my fears is then they had us, again, I've never been to a rodeo before I participated in one. So they had us go out into the middle, get on a knee, and the guy was like, "Dear Lord, I ask you to protect these athletes here tonight who are risking their lives." And I was like, Are you? I'm not an athlete. And so that was cool. So I ended up doing it. They put me on the first bull, would not. I begged, plead, borderline cried. They would not change the order. They did not care. I did not know what I was doing. I said, what's the objective? They said, stay on 8 seconds. I was like, what do we do after 8 seconds? So like, just hop off. I was like, I don't know a lot about bulls, but I'm pretty sure that after 8 seconds, the dude's not going to stop. I'm pretty sure he's going to keep going. So now like 8 seconds, okay, we're all good. So I realized you get on the bull and you come off the bull, and the come off the bull is going to be kind of probably rough. And you're either going to do it after 8 seconds or you're going to do it before 8 seconds, but either way, you're going to get rocked. Like, this is the stupidest sport, like 100% failure rate. Sign me up. 100% failure rate. So I stayed on 7.76 seconds. Let's go, right? Let's go. Appreciate you guys. It was okay. Yeah, no, it was okay. But yeah, I kind of like blacked out during it. I was pretty afraid. So anyways, all right, a little bit about Painter Marketing Pros. We have since, I created that bio, we've since worked with 400 painting companies, so super proud of that. We've generated over 300,000 leads for painting contractors. We've been doing this for 6 years, working exclusively with painting companies. And our average cost per lead, management investment, SEO, paid ads, et cetera, is under $60 over that time. We have generated over $250 million in revenue for our painting partners. So we have some experience. We write a marketing column in APC Magazine. If you're not subscribed to APC Magazine, sign up for that. And then the thing that I'm actually most proud of for my team is we have won PCA Industry Partner of the Year out of 60, 70 partners of the last 2 years. So that's a very, very major accomplishment. I don't think another partner has won 2 years in a row. So super proud of that. All right, today's agenda. So we're going to get into the landscape, what we're seeing out here, having worked with so many painting companies, what we're seeing in the landscape, cover a couple marketing truths that are going to be important for you guys to know, cover your company's marketing mix. So what do we think that you guys should be doing right now based on the size of your business? Go into paid ads levers. Who's here has listened to a presentation that I have given? There are a lot of new people, so probably, okay, so about half you guys. So I'm going to go a level deeper than I typically go in number 4. If I kind of lose some people on that, just circle up with me. I'm here through Saturday, so happy to sit down and geek out with this stuff, on this stuff with you guys. Then the marketing sales bridge and Q&A. So who's seen lead costs increase? We've seen some lead costs increase, right, in general. Who's seen buyers taking a little bit longer to close? Yeah, and then who's seeing buyers get more quotes? Got to get the quotes. Right? The projects are getting done, but the buyers are dragging their feet a little bit. They want to make sure they're getting the best price. They want to make sure they're moving forward with the best company. So we're seeing that. And when you see stuff like that, it's really important that you're focusing on the ROI of your marketing. Super important. So some marketing truths. I have some really good news for you guys. I'm going to cover 2 main truths here, neither of which I think is fully appreciated. The first is that marketing is always going to increase in cost. It's awesome. So it's not that it's going to increase every month, every week, every day. It goes up and down, fluctuates short-term, long-term, it is going to get more expensive. It's what it does. So what that means for you guys is you need to continue to improve your sales process. You need to continue to charge higher prices. You need to make sure that when you generate a lead and you sell that lead, that you turn around and turn it into more leads through repeat referral business. You need to basically level up the whole rest of your business, knowing that marketing costs are going to continue to increase because it's what they do. So this is the life cycle of ad platforms. So new platforms, this happened with Google pay-per-click, traditional Google ads. It happened with Meta ads, and it more recently happened with Google local service ads, and it is in the process right now with Google local service ads. So new platforms, they start with low cost per leads. They need to attract a user base. They need to attract businesses that advertise, so they need to give you a great ROI. There aren't a lot of businesses advertising on it, which means it's not super competitive. So Google pay-per-click, did anyone run Google pay-per-click 2000, 2001, 25 years ago? So Google pay-per-click, you could get leads for like 50 cents for Google pay-per-click. They're now $200+. It's like 50 cents because it was dirt cheap. There were quite a few companies that made a whole lot of money that really made their fortunes at that time because they adopted Google pay-per-click early. Russell Brunson, famous marketer, he did that. So Google pay-per-click did it, Meta did it. They start early stage, they pull in the businesses, not a lot of competition, give you really great lead flow. Then more and more people start to come, growth stage, and ultimately it becomes commoditized. When it becomes commoditized, it doesn't mean that it doesn't matter how you run the ad. It still you might pay half. If you run an ad really well, you might get that lead for half the price of one of your competitors, but it's not gonna be like a 10th. It could have been like a 10th during that growth stage. It's not now. So it becomes more commoditized. So the real lever today is your brand authority. What are you doing when they see you? What does your website look like? What does your social media presence look like? What does your sales process look like? What does your offline marketing presence look like? That's the real lever, essentially taking a lead and then selling that lead. So the tie between marketing and sales. Here's just some stats showing that paid ads commoditization. So Google Ads, these are stats across for average cost per click across all industries in the US market. It's 5x what it was 10 years ago. Again, 2000, it was like a penny. Meta ads over the past 5 years, it's over 3x, 3 to 4x right now. So this is across all industries. And then LSA is a baby one. It's our newest one. This one started at around $15. Now you're looking more like $30. This is gonna keep going up. I think that LSA, the Google Local Service Ads, who's running those? Who knows what I'm talking about? It's like the Google Guaranteed. Yeah, so I think that's gonna move from what it is right now, which is a cost per lead, which is great. I think it's gonna move to a cost per click, which is less great. Really great for Google, less great for you guys. So if you're not running LSA, I encourage you to lean in heavily to that. I think it's the future of Google, and I think it's going to become more expensive substantially. Second truth, marketing channels continue to evolve. They always evolve. Is anyone marketing in the yellow pages? So anybody? I was really hoping somebody was gonna raise their hand. There are still companies that do it, but not you guys, you're too smart. So, okay, it shifts, right? The marketing shifts. Be where your customers are. And so our next stage here, I've presented on this, I've given several presentations. I ran a workshop at PCA Expo on this. If you have questions on it, circle up with me. I can give you access to the workshop because this one's gonna be kind of fast, but it will give you a sense of what I think you should be doing in terms of paid ads based on your company's size. So always marketing channels, this is something everybody should be doing always. So a strong sales system, door hangers, yard signs, wrap vehicles, repeat and referral business. There are so many painting companies. How do you grow? I grow through word of mouth. What do you do for the word of mouth? I do good work. Okay, that means you do nothing, right? It means you just aren't terrible. You go in and you deliver what you promised to deliver, which means you're not a terrible company. But that's really the very basic of what you should do, right? You shouldn't really grow because you're not terrible. So if you can grow and do nothing, imagine if you actually do something. Imagine if you do something really proactive and professional and you build it into your process. Effective review generation and social media presence. Free marketing, this is what you really lean on when you're starting out.
Could you go back 1 second?
Yep. Sweet. So free marketing, under 500K, I think you're always paying with your time or you're paying with your money. So under 500K, I'm gonna pay with my time. So personal network, local Facebook groups, I'm gonna be posted next door knocking. Who here has door knocked? Wow, good for you guys. That's great. We got some hardcore people in here. Yeah, I've door knocked, it's so fun. And then some life insurance, cold calling, and then professional referrals. Under 500K, that should be the primary focus. Paid ads. In terms of paid ads, you should not be running Google pay-per-click. You should not be doing certain kinds of paid ads. Social media ads, so I'm talking Meta, Facebook and Instagram, and then Google local service ads. Those little Google guaranteed at the top. Those are the ads to run when you're under 500K. If you're between 500K and $1 million, same paid ads. In terms of what we're not gonna focus on, again, I have a whole workshop for this for you guys if you're interested. Strong Google business profile, strong social media channel, and then painting specific SEO with the website. But in terms of the paid ads, you're gonna stay in social media and Google local service ads. For the 1 to 3 million in annual revenue, you can layer in Google pay-per-click. We wait until we're above $1 million because Google pay-per-click, our strong recommendation is you have a budget of at least $3,500 per month if you're gonna play that game. It's just a more expensive game. You don't wanna be running Google ads on $500 a month. And then there's a whole lot of other stuff you can layer in. Print ads, direct mail, pay-per-lead sites. So that's sort of a backwards thing. A lot of people think, oh, you sign up for, oh, let me move on. We got some, never mind. My mistake. All right, 3 million plus. Same. Social media ads, Google local service ads, and then Google pay-per-click, and then these. So these are the ad platforms that we're going to focus on. So Meta, Facebook, and Instagram. You run those together. Google local service ads and Google pay-per-click ads, and then know your data. So knowing your data, you have to know what a customer is worth to you. It's called lifetime value. So when you go get the customer, what is your gross profit? How often do they repeat business? How often do they refer customers? Ultimately, what can you pay to acquire that customer and make money? You have to know that, and the only way you know that is through data. Daniel Honan, we got him in here somewhere?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. So Daniel's going to be giving a presentation. He runs a company called Profitable Painters CPA. Daniel's a good friend of mine. We work with a lot of the same painting companies, so we have a lot of the same partners. Phenomenal. He does phenomenal work. So if you don't know your numbers, make sure you talk with that dude if you haven't already, because he does good work. So some data, these are some tools that we use for tracking. So Google Analytics, if you guys want to take a picture. Looker Studio, what converts? That's similar to CallRail. Things like this can actually track where the lead comes from. So you know if it came from SEO, you know if it came from one of your ads and what ad it came from. You can track all this data. Agency Analytics is a reporting dashboard that we use. So you can actually lay out the data really clean for your team. And then high level is a CRM. All right, here's the fun stuff. How are we doing? Are we mostly, anyone have any questions? I don't want to open up too much, but any questions before I kind of go a level deeper here? No questions. You guys are done. Just checked out. Okay. Sweet. It's awesome. All right. Paid ads levers. So a couple concepts, winning on meta ads, Facebook and Instagram. Be personal, relatable, and authentic. So one of the mistakes I made, I had an auto detailing business. That was how I got into this space. So Andrew mentioned I did investment banking, I did private equity, I worked CFO of a software business. So finance was my path. And then I went off the reservation and I started an auto detailing company. And I figured out that I don't know how to market. And so I learned how to market, fell in love with marketing, and ultimately that's how I ended up here. But one of the things that I did, and it was a rookie move, is I tried to look a lot bigger than I was. So I take these photos, I try to make it look so polished, so professional. We're this big organization, all this stuff when we're not. Because I thought then people would be more likely to do business with me. You have imposter syndrome, you have this insecurity as you start out. But then as you get bigger, you almost go the other way, right? You almost start to realize, oh, I should almost become more relatable, or kind of downplay it a little bit, right? When we take videos, when we do videos, we don't want them to be ultra polished. We don't want them to be ultra professional, because people want to do business with people. People want to do business with local companies. As soon as you give off that corporate, we're this huge, big enterprise, people don't want to do business with you. So if you're starting out and you're feeling like you need to really flex on how big you are, how professional you are, there's a difference between being professional and then just kind of shooting yourself in the foot without realizing it. So ads that look like everyday posts perform best. An example would be if you were creating testimonial videos and you went and you got a homeowner to talk about what a great job you did, and then you went and highly edited it and made it look really polished and put music behind it, and you streamed a couple together, and it's like, man, this looks so great. That is going to perform worse than if you just have an iPhone and you just record a person there. Being like, hey, I hired this company, they were awesome. Like, look at this, they did it, they were just phenomenal. That's gonna outperform it not every single day of the week. So something for you guys to know. Use family photos, pets, behind the scenes shots showing your crew working. That stuff works really well. Why do people go on social media? They go on to connect, to spy, to whatever it is that they're doing, but they're not going on to get advertised to. So as soon as you look like, hey, ad, you turn people off. Real is better than polished, and then higher engagement drives better performance. So when you see people comment or like, make sure you're responding to those comments, make sure you're putting stuff up that's driving that engagement, because that's gonna help your ads perform a lot better. Cost per lead. It's the only metric that we ever talk about, cost per lead. The crazy thing about cost per lead is it's what's called a lagging metric, meaning it's not the first thing. It's a result of a bunch of other metrics, and that's how you get the cost per lead. So here's where we're gonna go into some metrics. So the leading metrics in terms of Meta, who knows what cost per mil is? Okay, Mike. Okay, Mike of Painter Growth knows what cost per mil. Nobody else does.
100,000 impressions.
Yes. Okay. Who knows what click-through rate is? Okay. Okay, we'll keep going. And then Frequency. All right, and ultimately we have a lagging metric of conversion rate and cost per lead. So let me ask you guys this, does Facebook charge per lead?
Yes.
Who thinks yes? A lot of people think Facebook charges per lead. Nobody's raising their hand, but they still think it charges per lead. We have partners we've worked with for years, and they say, well, we're paying for all these bad leads, right? If there's a week where a couple leads come in that are bad, oh, we're paying for these spam leads. Facebook doesn't charge per lead. They never have. They charge per mil. So it's an impression-based platform. So what you're doing on paying on Facebook is you're paying per 1,000 impressions. There's a bunch of stuff you want to do to drive down that cost per 1,000 impressions, but that's actually what you're paying for. So if you get 0 leads, if you get 100 leads, it's gonna cost you the same. It's a little more nuanced than that because there's ad quality, and if you're getting 0 leads, then your cost per mil is gonna go up, but ultimately that's what you're paying for. You're paying for cost per mil. So it's cost per mil, how much you pay per 1,000 impressions times the number of impressions, that's what you spend. That's how you actually, your spend is calculated on Facebook. And then your spend divided by your number of leads is, of course, your cost per lead. Anyone have questions on that? Cost per mil. So cost per mil is the cost to show your ad 1,000 times. One person might see your ad multiple times. Each time is an impression. So you're paying per impression, not per person. So cost per mil is cost to see the ad 1,000 times. Cost per mil, when it's higher, that's bad. It indicates that either your ad isn't very good or you're in a highly competitive market, your targeting isn't very good, something of that nature. If you're in a major metro area, it's just gonna be higher, right? So it does vary by geography, it varies by time of year, there are a lot of variants, but one of your name of your game is drive down your cost per mil. Benchmark here is $22 to $25 in terms of cost per mil. This is a Facebook Ads Manager. Who's been in a Facebook Ads Manager before? Cool, so maybe a little under half of you guys. So Facebook Ads Manager, if you run your own ad, if you go through and you just click a couple buttons and Facebook runs your ad for you, then you're doing it wrong. I'm just gonna tell you guys that. That's the easy button and you're not gonna crush. So if you actually wanna run Facebook ads yourself, then you actually need to learn how to run Facebook ads. So take courses, dive into it. Don't take the easy button of Facebook, it's not gonna do awesome for you. So this is what it looks like. If you're running ads and you're not seeing this, then you're not doing it the right way. So you can see the metrics that we're gonna run through in the Business Ads Manager. That's cost per mil. If you're finding, hey, Brandon said 22 to 25, I'm at 45, I'm at 50, then you're probably gonna wanna narrow your audience. So you're targeting too broad of an audience, you're wasting ad spend, or you need to improve your ad quality and the relevance of your ad to the audience that you're targeting. Click-through rate, somebody said this, fairly straightforward. It's the percentage of people that see your ad that click. What it would be harder to know is it's that if they click anything. So you know how when you run the Facebook ads or you see the ad, there will be a little bit and you have to click see more a lot of times and it opens it. That's a click. If you click the actual, what's called a call to action, learn more, sign up, get the free ebook, whatever, that's a click. Anything on there that you click is a click, right? So I'm just telling you the primary metrics, but when you have a higher click-through rate, what you're telling Facebook is this ad is resonating with people, they're clicking it, they're taking action. Facebook wants people to take action because if everyone's scrolling past it, then they're having a negative experience. And if you're making them have a negative experience on Meta, then they're gonna penalize you for that. If a lot of people are clicking it, then you're making them have a positive experience, and Meta's gonna reward you through that by making it a lower cost per mil. So this measures your ad relevance and engagement. Your benchmark is 0.75 to 2%. That's how many out of 100 you want one of them or more to be clicking the ad. Here's where you can see it in your Business Ads Manager. To fix it, let's say you go into this, you're reviewing your notes from this presentation, you figure out you have a low click-through rate. Some options are use a strong benefit-driven headline. So for your ad, use something very strong. Test curiosity-driven hooks. Who knows what a hook is? Okay, so a hook is the kind of the top of the ad. You know those ads when it says like, hey, dear, are you still trying to lose weight? You're doing it wrong. Or something that kind of sucks you in, pulls you in. It's like, well, what do they mean? Curiosity-driven hook. A hook is the beginning of your ad. It's what's gonna make them click the see more. You wanna make them click see more. And the whole name of the game there is make them curious. So test curiosity-driven hooks, add urgency. People, your biggest competitor is not your competitors. That's what people think. They think my biggest competitors are painting companies around me. Your biggest competitors is oftentimes apathy. People just not moving forward, not taking action. People are very apathetic. So when you run an offer, make it either urgency in terms of, hey, we're running this promotion and it ends end of this month, or scarcity, first 5 homeowners to reach out are gonna get X, Y, Z. So urgency or scarcity, that drives action. If you just say, hey, we do this and we're offering this and there's no timeline, there's no scarcity, well then I'll just come back next week, maybe next month. You'll probably be offering it, you'll maybe offer something better. Give me a reason to move forward now. And then use clear calls to action. Tell people what you want them to do. So here we have learn more down there. Those are the headlines. So those parts that are circled, that's the headline of the ad. The part above, the beginning, those are where the hook would go. Okay. Frequency. So frequency is the average number of times that each person sees your ad. A big misconception is you only want to see them once, right? That person already saw the ad. Don't show them the ad again, they already saw it. Product recall. How many, do you guys know what Coca-Cola is? Does anybody know? But yet, every Super Bowl, all these football get Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. I know what Coca-Cola is, I have a ton of them. I shouldn't have, but I have. I know what it is, but they're just gonna keep hammering me with it because that's how effective marketing works. So if you do it too much though, you can burn an audience out. So we're not Coca-Cola, we're a local painting company, so we don't wanna hit them 75 times with the same ad. So you do wanna hit them 75 times, but with different ads. So if this is too high, then it can lead to what's called ad fatigue. People have seen it so many times, if they were gonna take action, they already would have. And if it's too low, then it's a weak recall. The sweet spot here is between 3 to 7. Under 2, you're not showing it enough to the same people, so your budget's probably too low or your audience too large. And above 8, they're seeing it too many times. You need to switch up the ad. Yeah, so you can see here, frequency, it's one of the columns in the Business Ads Manager on Meta. Okay, so when you have a low frequency, it means people aren't seeing that often. You either need to narrow your audience, so you're advertising to a lot of people, or you need to increase your budget because you're not spending enough for the number of people that you're targeting for them to see the ad enough times. So you either need to target fewer people or you need to increase your budget. If you have a high frequency, they're seeing it over and over again, you either need to expand the audience or you need to create new ads. The easiest way to create new ads is to change what's called your creative. That's your picture or your video or your reel, whatever it is that you have, that is your creative, you need to switch that. You can switch headlines, you can switch a lot of stuff. The creative is usually the most effective thing to switch, that or the offer. And then we have conversion rate. So conversion rate's the percentage of those people that click on your ad, how many of them actually take the action you want them to take? How many of them fill out your lead form? How many of them request your estimate? How many of them call you? How many move forward? So the percentage of clicks that turn into leads, this matters because ultimately this is what we're driving towards. Right? It's the name of the whole game is we want them to actually take this action. We want to provide that estimate. So it shows how well your ad plus your landing page or your instant form drives results. We don't recommend using landing pages for Meta ads. We recommend using what's called an instant form so you keep them on the platform. It's a lot cheaper with Meta. Meta wants you to keep them on the platform. Again, when you guys are running ads on these different platforms, think about the business use case of the company that you're using. Meta is not going to reward you if you take them away from Meta. Meta wants them to go fill out your thing, go through your game, and then they want them to go back to mindlessly scrolling. They don't want you to take them away, and now they're off Meta. Benchmark here is 2.5 to 5%. That's what you're trying to hit. Again, you see it, it's a CBR conversion rate on the Business Manager. The way that you fix the low conversion right here is you can switch from landing pages. Landing pages are a lot more complicated. It's a bigger ask to ask somebody to go to another platform, to go to your website off Facebook. Keeping them on Facebook is going to increase your conversion rate. You can simplify the lead form. So this is a really important concept for you guys. The more questions you ask somebody, and if you think you can take it to the extreme, the more questions you ask somebody, the fewer leads you're going to get, the higher quality leads you're going to get. If you think about first name, last name, phone number, email, social security number, place of birth, blah, 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 blah. Very few people are going to give you that. The people that do, holy God, they trust the heck out of you. That's got a great lead, right? If you just say first name and email, that's probably, more people will give it to you. The lead quality is not going to be as good. So you want to find that balance. We find you typically around 5 questions. First, last name, email, phone, location, potentially service interested in, exterior, interior, cabinet, and I wouldn't go much farther than that. And then add trust signals, reviews, testimonials, guarantees, things like that, make people trust you more and take more action. And then we get to cost per lead. It's what everyone wants to talk about. What's your cost per lead? What's a good cost per lead? We just went through four or so different things that lead up to this. So when you're running your ads, this is the stuff, if you say, oh, the cost per lead is too high, these are the things that you have to be going through, right? These are all the things that lead into cost per lead. Cost per lead is a lagging indicator. So if you're running your ads, know those things. Cost per lead, our benchmark, and guys, we have one partner right now, they're getting $9 cost per lead. That's disgusting. I can't duplicate that. If you sign with us, you're almost certainly not going to get $9 cost per lead, right? So what we say the benchmark is $60 to $80. And then it comes down to your sales process. It comes down to your speed to lead, a lot of what you're doing then. How valuable is that lead to you? In terms of, do you treat it better? Do you close at higher rates? Do you get more repeat referral business than the next guy? Because then you can spend more money on your leads and you can continue to grow while the next guy cannot. Is this helping anybody, this stuff? Is this too deep? Okay. So Meta does not charge per lead. Its total spend divided by the number of leads is your cost per lead, and your spend is your impressions times your cost per mil. And then ultimately, you can see in the far right here, you can see your cost per lead on your business ads manager. Fix high cost per lead, you got to go back and review everything we just covered, because that's what leads into your cost per lead. Who here is running Google pay-per-click ads? Ryan. Okay, cool. Nice. Okay, does Google charge you per lead? Everybody's so scared. Yes. Pay per click. Google charges you per click. So the metrics to track on Google is cost per click. That's where we start. How much are you paying per click? Quality score, click-through rate, impression share. Again, moving to the lagging metric of conversion rate. And then after all that, we get into cost per lead. Google pay-per-click. The amount of money you spend on Google pay-per-click is what is your cost per click times the number of clicks. That's simple. And that's how much money you're going to spend. And then all those other metrics are going to drive into how many of those clicks are you converting into leads. Take the spend, divide number of your leads, and that is your cost per lead. So winning on pay-per-click, setting up the campaign. I'm going to kind of move through this kind of fast because very few of you guys are actually running these. So creating dedicated campaigns for each service type and location, and then ultimately building unique landing pages. Who knows what a landing page is? Fair amount of people. Okay, so a landing page is a one-page website. It's a one-page, very specific website. And so when you run Google ads, a big mistake people make is they'll take them and they'll send it to their homepage. Just send them to the main page on their website. What you actually want to do is you want to run an ad that's either targeting exterior painting, interior painting, cabinet painting. It's not just saying any kind of painting. It's super specific, and then it takes them to a super specific landing page. Because now you have someone who's looking for cabinet painting. They found you. They go to a landing page that's all about cabinet painting. It's showing them examples of cabinet painting. And now they think, okay, you're a company that does great cabinet painting. If they take them to your homepage, you say, we do exterior painting, cabinet painting, we do roofing and siding and landscaping and gutters. Well, how good are they at cabinet painting? I don't know. They do everything under the sun. You're just cabinet painting. That's all they cared about. That was what they searched. That's who you are, right? So making it tight. Keyword targeting, focusing on exact match terms, using negative keywords to actually narrow down your, again, if you guys want to take pictures of this, some of this is going to be beyond because you guys aren't running these ads. And then keep targeting tight and specific to your service area so you avoid casting too wide of a net. You don't want people clicking on your ad who are not potentially a viable lead. That is going to waste a lot of money for you. So cost per click is the cost you pay each time someone clicks your ad. It matters because it determines how much you're going to spend to drive that traffic, and what you're looking for is $20 to $30 per click. For the high intent, so painter near me, best painter in my area, things like that, what's called commercial intent, people are probably almost certainly looking to hire a painting company. It's expensive. So here's what the Google Ads Manager looks like, kind of the back end. You can see we have an average cost per click column right there. To fix high cost per click, you want to improve your quality score. So Google will actually tell you what your quality score is. They're going to measure this through a lot of different ways. You want to refine your keyword targeting. So rather than just painting, maybe interior painting or cabinet painting, just adding a little bit more, what's called a longer tail keyword, more words, and then using automated bidding with Google. Click-through rate, same concept. These same concepts apply across all different ad platforms. Click-through rate is the percentage of people who click your ad after seeing it. So how many people, here's the interesting thing. You don't pay when someone doesn't click the ad. So let's say you're running a campaign for cabinet painting, and then you pop up. You know, got the little sponsored Google ads up there, and then they scroll past you. You don't pay. However, if your click-through rate is really low, which means very few of those people who see your ad click it, Google's going to start charging you a much higher cost per click because you are not, it's the same idea as with Meta, you are hurting their platform. People are seeing your ad, you're wasting valuable real estate because they're scrolling past because your ad is not good. It does not make people want to click. So it actually hurts you even though you didn't pay for it because the next payment you're going to pay a lot more than you should. So click-through rate matters. It reflects your ad relevance and quality, and your benchmark is a 3 to 5%. That's what you want for the click-through rate. Again, an example of the column, you get all this data in the ads manager. Fix low click-through rate, you want to improve your ad copy with benefit-driven headlines. Why should they actually move forward? Ad extensions, they're all different kinds of things. Google Ads is a level beyond Meta Ads in terms of the complexity. You can add a bunch of extensions, and you can essentially take up more real estate on the page. You guys ever seen those ads and there's like a bunch of links below it, or sometimes there's pictures? Google will kind of mix and match things. You want to fill in as much of that stuff as you can because Google's going to strategically use it, and the more real estate your ad takes up, the more likely it is someone's going to click on something. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, the site link you would not use if you were doing the landing pages. Yeah. And then testing multiple ad variations. Okay, quality score. So again, Google, so Meta has quality score as well. They just don't tell you what it is. So Meta, you have to kind of guess, and it's through things like the click-through rate, the cost per mil. That's how you're going to figure out roughly what your quality score is on Meta. Google actually at least does you the benefit of actually telling you how good your ad is. If it's a 3, they think your ad sucks, and they're charging you a lot for it. So you want it to be greater than 7. It's 1 to 10. Higher scores are going to lower your cost per click, and it's going to improve your ad rank. Did you guys know, and I think most of you don't. So when we think cost per click, we think you bid, right? So you say, I'm willing to pay up to $20 for the term painter near me. Cool, you put that into Google. And then your competitor says, I'm willing to pay up to $20 or $21. So you think your competitor's gonna get them all because they're willing to pay $21 and you're willing to pay $20. What's interesting is that Google might actually give you the top slot for $14, even though your competitor was willing to pay more because your ad quality is a lot higher. So they don't charge the same amount for every company, for every ad. They charge different amounts. So you can be higher, and maybe they're below you, so they're number 2, which technically they should pay less, and someone clicks on their ad and they pay $19. And they clicked on your ad and they paid $14. You paid $14. So that's where you want to dial in these metrics. You have a question? Oh, no, okay. So quality score, again, Google Ads Manager, all that stuff's there. So to fix a low quality score, improve the ad keyword alignment. This is where having tight keyword phrases with tight landing pages, having what's called a funnel. Who here's heard of a funnel? So marketing funnel. So marketing funnel is essentially, I enter a keyword phrase in Google, the ad pops up, I hit the ad, then I go into the landing page, and then I get messaging from the customer, and then the customer comes out, or from the company, then the company comes out and provides an estimate. All of this is steps. It's basically the life cycle journey of a prospect. That's what a funnel is, right? Online and offline. So optimize landing page load speed and relevance. If your landing page loads slowly, that is going to absolutely kill your Google ad. Make sure your landing page pulls up like that. Make sure it's optimized for mobile. Majority of searches are on mobile. And then increase your click-through rate with more compelling copy. So finally, conversion rate. This is the percentage of your clicks that are going to turn into leads. It shows how well your ad and your landing page drive results. Your benchmark here is 2.5 to 5% for your conversion rate. Again, in the Google Ads Manager, you can see conversion rate there. So we put these all in order for you guys. By the way, when you're actually in there, you can move this stuff around. We just put them in this order for this presentation. You can choose what columns to show. There are many other options than these. You can choose, but I'm giving you guys the primary ones that you'll definitely want to see. And this is an order, what you may want to copy that order because that's the order that would be logical. Fixing low conversion rate, simplify forms, reduce friction, same concept as Meta. If somebody's on your website and they have to give you 7,000 pieces of information because you don't want to drive out to this area and you don't want to do a small job and you don't want to X, Y, Z, you want to pre-qualify the heck out of them, then your leads are just going to cost a lot more money. You're going to lose some leads that would have been perfect leads. I recommend keeping this fairly low and then qualifying on a phone call. If you don't want to go out because you don't want to spend your time, you don't want to spend your resources, fine, that's fair. Qualify on a phone call then. I think qualifying should be pretty minimal in general, because a lot of times you get good opportunities when you go out for jobs you might think are not ideal, especially if you're good at working neighborhoods, repeat, referral business kind of deal. Match landing page offer to search your intent, and then always social proof. Social proof sells, right? More social proof you have, the more you can easily sell. Impression share. So impression share is something that's kind of unique to Google. It basically says, hey, for the search term that you say you want to rank for, painter near me, you're bidding on painter near me. For that search term, we're going to actually tell you what percentage of those searches you're showing up for. It's probably not 100%. So maybe of the people in your area that you said you want to target that wrote painter near me or some very similar variant of that, you showed up for 70%, 80%. Right? Now you actually know, okay, 20 or 30% of the time, I didn't even show up. So it shows your visibility versus competitors. You want to hit at least 60 to 70%. This is where you can see it, search impress share is how Google Ads Manager lists it. If you have a low impression share, then you need to increase your budget. You need to spend more. Or you can narrow your targeting, right? So you have too many people that you're trying to target with too low of a budget. And then ultimately improving your quality score to win auctions, as we said. If you're paying a lower cost per click, your budget's going to go farther naturally because you're not paying as much every time they click. And then the cost per lead. Did you guys know that so many things go into cost per lead? Who knew that there were this many things that go into cost per lead? We all just kind of think it's cost per lead, right? Like, oh, what's your cost per lead? There's like a million things. This is math. It's math. It's ultimately this stuff's math, and then it's psychology. So cost per lead is how much you pay to generate a lead. Benchmark, Google pay-per-click, $175 to $300. Who would be like, sick, my leads are $300? Yes. You guys pumped for that? No? That's why most of you shouldn't be running Google Ads. What does that say, though? If a lead's $300, you think you should pick up the phone if they call you? Maybe, right? You think you should call them back? Do you think that you should present the proposal in the home? Maybe get 2 of those leads. Now you've spent $600. Maybe one of those estimates falls through. So you spent $600 going, I'm probably going to want to present in the home. I don't want to email it afterwards. I'm at least $1,000 in now in terms of what I pay the estimator, the gas, the cost per lead. This is where that sales process is really, really important. Cost per lead, it's cost per all conversions. They call it cost per conversion or cost per action in Google Ads Manager. And how you fix a high cost per lead is you do everything else that we talked about. Some other things, refining negative keyword. So negative keywords is, if you said painting, you want to bid on painting. This is a very easy example. You would want to put, negative keywords is something that you say, hey, Google, if somebody puts this in, I don't want to show up because it's not my person. So painting, a negative keyword would be car. Most of you are not painting cars. But if you don't put car in, you're gonna be paying for people who are searching for car painting. And that's gonna be a bummer for you. So that's a negative keyword. And then improving ad targeting. Who here is running local service ads? Google LSA? Okay, cool. So if you're not, please do, for real. Like, even if it's not benefiting you a lot right now, it is the future of Google. I am very sure of that. So budget strategy. Who here's got $1 million a week budget on LSA? We've convinced one of our partners to do that. Yeah, they don't spend $1 million. So they spend maybe $200, $300 a week. But when you go to these just absurd numbers, Google just shows you more often. There aren't near enough leads to spend anywhere even remotely near that amount of money. But if you just get gross with it, Google just gives you more leads. So that's a little hack for you guys. Cost per lead sweet spot is 20 to 60. Most of our partners kind of in that 30 range. Who here is getting over 60 leads a month with that? 60 leads a month. I think No Drip got that. I think you guys did. I think you guys got 65 leads over the past 30 days. So if you do, talk with her, if you do things the right way, this is the kind of lead flow you can get from LSA. Who's not getting any leads from LSA? Yeah, so a quick tip for you guys with LSA. If a lead calls and you don't pick up, call them back through that same number. Don't just call them back from your cell phone and circumvent, or it looks like you ignored them. And then Google thinks that they gave you a lead and you just threw the lead in the garbage can. That's not a good look for Google. Again, Google wants, when they present a company, They want the user to feel really great about that experience because you're now representing Google in a way. They've essentially recommended you by putting you on the top. They only have 2 or 3, right? There are probably 20 plus companies running LSA. So if you're not going to treat the lead well, then they'll just move on to the next painting company. Some metrics to track here: lead volume, cost per lead, and response time. They don't give you your response time. You should be tracking that internally. You should respond very quickly to LSA leads. It matters. It is the future of Google. Google, a lot of their engineering dollars, a lot of their software dev dollars are going into LSA stuff right now. They're merging LSA and Google Business Profile. A lot of it's moving hyper-local. LSA is the future of Google. I'm very certain of that. So make sure you're investing into it, learn it, and then treat it really well. There's the LSA dashboard. And then finally, marketing, sales, bridge. Marketing and sales, they are different things, but they're very, very tightly linked. They're a bit of a continuum. If you market the right way, then when a lead comes in, I say marketing, let's say you're running let's say you're running paid ads on Meta, right? And so they see your ad on Meta, maybe they don't know your company, and they fill it out because you had an offer, you ran the ad well enough that they're interested in hearing what you have to say, getting a free quote. They fill it out. The next thing they're going to do is they're going to do a little homework on you. They're probably going to go to your Facebook page because that's where they're at. And you guys ran an instant form ad because you heard my presentation and you knew that was the best option. So you run an instant form ad, they're going to go to your Facebook page. Now you're going to come out to their house. They're definitely going to go to your website. They're most certainly going to go to your Google Business Profile. They want to see how many reviews you have. They're going to see if you have new photos on your Google Business Profile. They're going to see if you've been posting on your social media. So I say a lead, it's like if you're walking into a house, and they fill out the form, they've taken a step through the doorway. This is where they're at. Now they're going to look around at the inside. And this is your presence online. And this is where the value of the lead is not the same for every single company. Not at all. So that now you start to move into, this is still marketing. What does my digital presence look like? How good of a job have I done getting reviews? What is everything I have online that says, like, I just took a selfie with you guys? That's going to go online. There's so many of you that I've talked with that say, man, I see you everywhere. You're doing a great job. Not an accident, right? I didn't have Facebook. Before I launched Painter Marketing Pros, I had stopped using, I don't like Facebook. I'll be honest with you guys. I hate it. If it were just for me personally, I wouldn't have it. I have it for business, and it works really well for me, right? Because when I'm up here on stage, I mean, this is a pretty authoritative position, so it's a good entrance, but you guys are here. Now, if you're actually serious about maybe hiring a marketing agency, maybe working with Painter Marketing Pros, you might check out the podcast. You might go to our website. You might go to Painter Marketing Pros social media. You guys are looking around, right? That's all marketing, but then it transitions pretty quickly into sales. It's this continuum. It's this bridge. Because what does now the communication look like? Because I'm looking around, but you also have my information. Have you reached out to me immediately? Have you called me within 60 seconds? Before you show up, have you sent me some information on your company? Do I know, like, and trust you? Because that's what I should. I should know, like, and trust you before you step foot in my house. Hey, is there a video from the owner saying, hey, thanks so much for requesting an estimate from Brandon's painting company. Really appreciate it. Want to let you know a little bit about the company. Hey, thanks so much for requesting an estimate. Want to let you know what the process is going to be when the estimator gets to your home. Have they received that? Have they received any testimonials about your business? And then your estimator, if it's you or if it's someone else on your team, before you head over, do you record a little selfie video and send it via text to them? Those get a 97% open rate, by the way. Text is way better than email. Hey, John, it's Mike here from Brandon's Painting Company. Want to let you know I am about to head over to your house now. See you in 15 minutes. Really looking forward to discussing your project with you. Send. You think that Chuck, who's going to pull up before me or pull up after me, did Chuck send that? Chuck didn't send it. So when they're talking about investing $4, $5, $6, $8, $10,000, if I'm $1,000, $2,000 more, but I've done all these steps, I've babied them the whole way, they feel so good about me, you think they're not going to give me $7,000 because Chuck came in and offered $5,500, but they didn't even know if Chuck was coming? Then the dude parks, kind of look, wonder, like, is that the painter or a homeless dude? Oh, no, it's the painter. Okay, cool. Right? They've seen your face. There's this stuff psychology. So now we've moved into marketing and sales. It's a continuum. They're different things. They're very, very tightly linked. And that's why I say the value of a lead is not the same for any single person in this room. All of you could be in the same service area. All of you could get the lead at the exact same time, and it's worth a different value to all of you. Because what I'm talking now is what's your price positioning? What's your value positioning? How much can you charge and still consistently close? I haven't even gotten to what percentage of those leads, what percentage of those projects are you going to get referrals from? Are you going to do repeat business on? Are you going to get a review? A review is worth hard money. It's worth hard cash because it's going to increase your pricing power and your close rate and your lead flow. It's going to increase everything. Drive down your cost per lead. A review is worth money. So and if I get every one of my projects, if I get a review or a referred project half the time, well, if all else things being equal, that lead is worth 50% more to me than you. While you can spend 100, I can spend 150. Now I can outspend you. Now I can pour more money into ads and I can just crush you because I get 50%. I get another lead every two projects. You're getting zero, right? This is where the stuff it's not so simple as I need to drive down my cost per lead and I need to get more leads. There's so much more to it than that. So be 5 mile famous, be known in your area, be omnipresent locally. Again, this is I've stepped into your house and I'm looking around. Have your stuff dialed in. Trust through familiarity, some branding stuff that works, door hangers if you guys want to take a photo, SEO optimized website, again, not going into that right now, painting specific SEO. Because the SEO guys, by the way, we've been talking about paid ads, but if I'm thinking about doing business with you and now I want to go get other quotes, where am I going to go? I'm going to go on Google, right? Well, Brandon's painting company came out, but I know that I'm supposed to get 3 quotes. Brandon's not going to bamboozle me. I'm going to make sure I get my 3 quotes. Google, best painter in my area. Oh, Brandon's at the top of that too. Oh, he's in the Google business profile. Oh, he's running retargeting ads because he knows how to run ads. So Meta's showing me. The universe is telling me this is the right. And I had a really great experience with Brandon's painting company. I already felt good about it. Now the universe has confirmed it. I'm moving forward. This stuff all ties together. Buyers' expectations are evolving. We all want everything right now. Amazon made our lives hard. I'm going to tell you guys that. I love it, and I also hate it. I order it, it's there an hour later. I'm kind of like, what? Were you just sitting outside the house, man, with that? Where'd you come from? How did he get there? Dude's like, do you want it in 3 minutes or 7 minutes? Where are you? Are you in a bush or something? So the logistics, like, mind-boggling. But now, when they want a painting estimate, you're not hiding in the bush. So it's harder, right? The expectations have become absurd, but they're absurd for everybody. Cool. I love when things are hard. I love when things are unreasonable because they're also hard and unreasonable for my competition. Sweet. Excellent. So the better customer experience you guys can provide, the better you're going to do. Speed to lead. I'm saying 60 seconds. So many painting companies, especially for you guys just starting out. Oh, are you guys respond to your leads quickly? Yeah. Oh, how long? Same day. Cool. You mean it wasn't like a week later? Man, you're killing it. That's awesome. 60 seconds. The only way you can do that is through automations, through a CRM. We're doing a tech panel tomorrow. I think it'll be really cool. Actually, with the committee, the residential committee, we're going to go through tech. I think make sure you guys are ready for some questions there. That's what it looks like for you guys. There's your call center. 78%, this is an interesting statistic, 78% of buyers choose the first company to respond. That's how important this stuff is, okay? Average lead in the home services converts 21 times more when you respond to them within 5 minutes. So same day or on your lunch break or next week or whenever the hell you feel about, that is probably not fast enough. So use a call center. I recommend using a call center for off hours. People who have money, they usually have a job. They're usually doing something during the day, right? So if they're doing something during the day, they might be looking for you at night, and they might be calling you at night. They might be looking for you on the weekend, they might be calling you on the weekend. It would be really cool if someone could answer. So using a call center and then having a CRM for the automation workflows. This was a little example I did. Hey John, Mike from Brandon's Painting Company, little selfie, get them to know, like, and trust you. Measuring and delivery is a given. It is not a sales process. If you guys go out and you take measurements and then you job cost, hopefully, so you know how much the job's going to cost you, and then you mark it up or however you decide your pricing, and then you deliver a proposal. That's not a sales process. That's just putting your shoes on. That's just fundamentals. You obviously have to know what the price is, of course. The sales process is everything else on top of that, right? So the sales, the experience, why are they getting the project done? Oh, because there's a reason they're getting it done. What's the emotional reason that they're getting it done? Unless the HOA is saying, hey, your house looks like crap, you need to repaint it, There's some reason that they're electing to get it done. It's usually optional, right? It's not like a plumbing leak. They're getting it done because their house is getting ruined. They're choosing to have their house painted there's some emotional reason. Why now? And what is important to them? Well, they want the lowest price. No, they don't. If they wanted the lowest price, they paint it themselves, right? Especially interior painting. They understand that they could buy paint and they could put it on the wall. If they wanted the lowest price, you wouldn't be in their house. So what's important to them? Is it timing? Is it safety? Is it convenience? Is it knowing that the job is going to be done right and there's a warranty in place and they don't have to worry about it? So there's peace of mind. What's important to them? How do you sell to that? It's not the lowest price. If it were the lowest price, you wouldn't be in their house. And then always deliver the proposal in the home. A good friend of mine, Jason Phillips, Joe is here from his team. He runs a very successful, like 15 million or something, painting company, do some roofing. He says, don't get porched. He's got if you haven't talked with Joe and his team, they run a coaching program, sales program called Contractor Freedom. They sit down at the kitchen table and they deliver at the kitchen table their proposal because that's where friends sit. And they say if you sit outside, they're never going to deliver it. They're never going to email it over 24, 48 hours later. That's suicide. But their worst case scenario is they have to do it outside. They call that getting porched. So don't get porched. Appreciate you guys. I don't know if we have time for any questions. If you guys want to scale, scan that.
If you want to learn more about the topics we discussed in this podcast and how you can use them to grow your painting business, visit paintermarketingpros.com/podcast for free training, as well as the ability to schedule a personalized strategy session for your painting company. Again, that URL is paintermarketingpros.com/podcast. Hey there, painting company owners. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give us your feedback. Let us know how we did. And also, if you're interested in taking your painting business to the next level, make sure you visit the Painter Marketing Pros website at paintermarketingpros.com to learn more about our services. You can also reach out to me directly by emailing me at brandon@paintermarketingpros.com, and I can give you personalized advice on growing your painting business. Until next time, keep growing.